to have to flash away, and Wicked goes deep on this one, picks up the kill, and just slides on in towards the Dragon Pit. Yeah, they're all grouped up, that's perfect placement, and Selfie just catches all four of them with his distortion. It's a triple kill for Reckless, it may well be a quadra, it is! Crescendo onto Svensson. That's going to be 2 kills coming down from Rocket. The rest of SK need to back away. And welcome to the continuing action in the European League of Legends Championship Series, coming to you live from our studios here in Cologne, Germany. I am Lee D-Man Smith, and joined once again behind the caster desk by Martin the Preshow Lunger. Almost there.
Whatever.
As we draw ever closer towards the end of the spring split.
That's right, D-Man. And the action is really starting to pick up here in week 10, and the teams are all extremely close in the standings, of course, and with a super week coming up here, a lot of things can still happen.
Well, every win counts, of course, but before we get into the news here in Europe, let's take a look at what's happening at some of the leagues around the world. Earlier today in the Garena Premier League, the quarterfinals wrapped up with the Season 2 World Champions Taipei Assassins defeating Insidious Gaming 3-0. They advanced to the semi-finals where they will face their sister team, the Taipei Snipers, with AHQ facing off against Saigon Jokers on the other side of the bracket. In the Chinese LPL, earlier league leaders are OMG. They are sitting in first place with 22 points, and they stole a Baron and the series this morning against Positive Energy, of course, who finished second place last year. And the newly formed Edward Gaming, they are now sitting in second place at 19 points, taking a win over IG.
And finally, over in Korea for the OGN Champion Spring season, the early favorites SK Telecom T1K and Samsung Ozone, they continue their dominance in the group stages. Earlier this week, we had SK T1K bounce back to beat OGN newcomers Prime Optimus, while Ozone looked very dominant as they scorched CJ Frost 2-0.
Well, turning back to the European LCS, you probably noticed on the match graphic before the broadcast that we have an extra game added to the schedule today. This is due to an issue with yesterday's SK Gaming versus Gambit match. Unfortunately, there was a bug yesterday that caused a significant increase in Aatrox's ability in the early game, which was of course the reason for the pause by the SK Gaming around the 4-minute mark. We believe that SK was not properly informed of their ability to request a remake, which would have been granted to them had they asked.
And because of this confusion, as well as the fact that SK clearly pointed out the bug and felt disadvantaged by it, we're going to void the result of yesterday's match and replay it at the end of the LCS matches today.
Meanwhile, in other news, we also had a new player in the LCS yesterday. It was Kotnex. He played his first game for Millennium against the Copenhagen Wolves, but sadly it was not enough to give them the win.
No, but Kotnex, he showed great presence in the early game, and he picked up the first 2 kills for Millennium, actually, and he was constantly trying to make plays on Kha'Zix, and while he did go a bit over-aggressive a few times, then he was still one of the best players for Millennium, actually, in the game.
And we also saw Vel'Koz for the first time when he was picked by N-Rated as a support champion in the match. That will, of course, be remade later today.
Yeah, so N-Rated and Candy Panda, they played a very aggressive lane with both Vel'Koz and Jinx. And while the mobility is low and we actually saw them give up first blood, they still managed to get 2 kills onto Edward with this high damage combo. And I like this setup, but I think we need to see more Vel'Koz support before we can 100% judge it.
Well, yesterday, all of the fan favorites won, with Alliance and Fnatic, of course, continuing their charge up the table.
Yeah, some of the preseason favorites are really starting to shine here. Alliance and Fnatic were both teams people expected to fight for the #1 spot, and each of them are showing very nice play at the moment. If they can keep their performance going, coming into the playoffs, it's going to be impossible to predict who's going to win.
Well, let's check out the table to see where all the teams are in the standings. Currently tied in first place, of course, because that match will be remade, is Gambit and SK Gaming at 13 wins, 9 losses. That's, of course, going to be played out later on today. Third place tie is Alliance and Fnatic now with 13 wins, 10 losses. And, of course, that means Alliance, they are on that 7-game win streak. Meanwhile, Fnatic, they're on a 3-game win streak of their own. And now for the first time in the LCS European Spring Split, Roccat face themselves outside the top 4. They are now 5th place with 12 wins, 11 losses.
And in 6th place, we got Copenhagen Wolves with 11 wins and 12 losses. And right under them, we have Super Hot Crew, who's chasing this playoff spot with 9 wins and 14 losses. And of course, Millennium down in the bottom, 7 wins and 16 losses.
And of course, with the teams so close, we are seeing some amazing plays as the fights for their positions. Let's take a look at one of those most talked about hashtag LCS big plays that had you guys buzzing on Twitter yesterday.
Yeah, this one comes from the Rocket against Alliance match, and it's of course the Flash Lantern from NIF. And Simon D. Demon, he said on Twitter, NIF Lantern, flashing for Froggen, so epic, and go Alliance, of course. And this was your most talked about play. And the awesome thing to highlight with this is not only just the flash from NIF here with Lantern, it's the fact he's actually spotting out Froggen being in issues together with himself and then getting both to safety instantly. Such a smart move and very good reaction from him.
Under a lot of pressure as well, the Super Mega Death Rocket came in, Yankos with the claws. Remember, of course, anything that happens in these games, you guys can tweet us at LOL Esports and use the hashtag LCS Big Plays, and there should be plenty of them. We do expect to see more of those big plays today, of course, as the teams will keep fighting for their playoff slots or to avoid relegation. First up, it's going to be SK Gaming facing off against Alliance. Big game to start the day off. Then it's going to be the Super Hot Crew. They're taking on Gambit.
After that, Fnatic and Millennium will do battle, and then the Copenhagen Wolves will face Roccat. And we'll close out the week with the remake game between SK Gaming and Gambit. But right after those games, the European Challenger Series final for the second half of the Spring Series will happen right here on our stage. Ninjas in Pajamas will be facing Departed in a best-of-3. And Demon and I will be calling those matches, so make sure, of course, to stay tuned.
It's a long day, that's for sure. And, of course, with Super Week ending the Spring Split next week and playoffs on the way, there is a lot to keep track of. Remember that you can find the calendar of the games over on LOLesports.com, along with the standings, stats, VODs, and much more. While we're checking out the schedule, you can also vote on today's matches and let us know who you think will win.
You just click on the thumbs up next to your choices, and then we'll show your picks throughout the day before each game. And while you're on the site, click on the tickets link and join us here in Cologne, Germany to see the LCS in person. We still have a few tickets left for next week, so make sure, of course, you get them while you actually can.
Yeah, should be some great games next week. You can also talk to us on Twitter. Write to us at LOL Esports and tell us which European LCS team plays the most mind games and why.
I absolutely love SK Gaming with all the different support picks for on Reddit. You never know when they lock something in, where is it actually going to go? Is it him? Is it the mid lane, top lane? You can't really say. But be sure to, of course, use the hashtag LCS on your answers, and then Shox will read our favorites on air later today.
Well, let's send things over to Shox as she's standing by with Super Hot Crew's newcomer Selfie and his teammate Impaler.
This way.
Thank you very much, D-Man. And hello, Summoners. I'm Aphia Shock supporter, joined here by the Super Hot Crew's new mid laner, Selfie, and of course their jungler, Impaler. Welcome to the table, Selfie. I'm glad that we will be able to talk to you here for a little bit. Let me start off by asking you how the change has been from playing in solo queue in the comfort of your own home to coming here and playing on a big stage.
Yeah, so solo queue is mostly just individual skill. In LCS, you have to play as a team. It requires much more coordination and experience.
Yeah, it obviously is very important to gel with the team. How was it when you first met Selfie? How did he fit into the team?
It was a little bit awkward at first. Like, this new guy's just moved into our house. We don't really know him. But like, after a few days, we not only had a really good mid laner, but I feel we had a really good friend.
Very nice. Tell me a little bit about when a new player comes in, it's obviously that you're dealing with new characteristics, new champions. How has your pick and ban strategy changed with Selfie?
We play a lot more assassins around the mid lane now, so we go for them strong 2v2 matchups between mid and jungle. So with all them assassins in our pocket with Selfie plays, we can really bring out like exciting 2v2s and instant catches, and catch comps are really strong with us now.
So he mentions those assassins that you love to play. Up to now, we only see LeBlanc and Ryze coming out of you with differing success. How do you feel that you've done in the first matches here?
I can play every champ, but champion I'm gonna play mostly depends on my team and me, of course.
Yeah, so you mostly do what is good for the team. Very important. Talk me a little bit through synergy, Impaler. Do you need to put a little more attention to the mid lane now than you had to do before, or even more? And is that not taking away too much from the other lanes?
Selfie's really confident when he gets ahead in lane, so I try and give him a bit of extra attention early, make sure he knows what he's doing and try and get him snowballing. Like especially on Assassins, if you get that early gold, it really snowballs hard. But I don't feel I give him much more attention than the other laners. I just go where I think's best and try to fit what the team needs.
We will see how that goes in your matchup you have here today, because you'll be taking on Gambit Gaming. You'll be going up against Alex Ish in that mid lane. How are you looking on that matchup?
We're really confident, and I think I'm gonna do really good, and I think we can win this game.
Can win this game. Well, I wish you a lot of luck in that matchup. One final question for you, Impaler. When I talked to you in the beginning of the season, you were saying, well, we are our own organization. Now we basically get the chance to just do what we want for a split. But now relegation is actually quite close for you guys. Has that vision changed in any way?
We really want to survive this split. Like, I feel that we can compete with the best teams, but we still need time to catch up. Like, with a new roster change, we really need to get the 5-man synergy and become not only good players, but a really good team. And that's what separates like the good teams from the great teams in LCS. The great teams have excellent team play and they win team fights that you wouldn't even expect them to win. And hopefully next split that'll be us.
All right, I wish you guys the best of luck. Thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me. And of course, good luck versus Gambit later. And now we're going to take a brief break, but stay close because our matches today kick off in a battle at the top of the table with SK Gaming versus Alliance in just a few minutes. We'll be right back. Mm-hmm.